Everyone, good morning. Welcome back to your Sunday morning Forever United TV. Here we go. Manchester United update. It has been a here we go, hasn't it? The whole bleeding weekend. I think it's a good chance now just to sit back Sunday morning, relax, and just take in what has actually happened. It's been a massive one, but we have got to move forward. We've got the Bryan Mbeumo day today. That is going to be confirmed. We've got Marcus Rashford moving forward. We've got updates on Sancho again this morning, but we want to start with what's coming into Manchester United after Bryan Mbeumo and the obvious striker hunt. Striker hunt, midfield talk and goalkeeper talk, all on this Sunday morning show. Got you jam-packed in with everything you need to know on everything going on and off the pitch at Manchester United. It is going to be what looks like a mega week for United this week with everything that is planned so far. Of course, on Tuesday, Manchester United head out to the States, head out to Chicago for part one of the US tour. And game one, I can't remember which one it is first, Everton, West Ham or Bournemouth now. But look, pre-season is here. Players are coming in. Everyone's getting a little bit more excited. United played their first game yesterday. Less said about that performance-wise and game-wise, the better. But we're seeing Matheus Cunha do his bits. We're now expecting Bryan Mbeumo to be in the next game for Manchester United. Now, that I think is what the talk is all about at United. Will he feature in the first game of pre-season? Maybe not starting the game, maybe coming in. Maybe just has to be integrated in a little bit slower than everyone else. Well, to be honest, right now he's the only player that really needs integrating in. Everyone else is pretty much up to speed. A fully fit Man United squad, by the way. That's something that we didn't talk about yesterday too much either, but how good does that feel? Actually having everything in place and everyone available ready for the new season. That is a bonus as well. But getting ahead to this, we'll deal with Mbeumo when it happens now. And I'm just, like I said before, on Friday, we got that news yesterday, confirmation. He was at Old Trafford, Carrington today for medicals, done. Out of the way. Moving forward, we've talked plenty about Benjamin Sesko, and that is rolling on today again with more talks on Benjamin Sesko. Manchester United, after the initial meeting with Christopher Vivel and representatives of Benjamin Sesko, it's going to be, I think, a long drawn process. I think we came down to if we go for Benjamin Sesko, but United are not just stopping on Benjamin Sesko. And what I mean by a long drawn out process, I think, from now until the end of the window, because United want to bring the price down. So United have found out exactly how much Benjamin Sesko is. It's quite steep at the moment. We obviously talked about Marcus Rashford leaving yesterday. 17 million quid Manchester United are going to save from Marcus Rashford leaving. There is a discrepancy on Marcus Rashford and what was said yesterday by Matteo Moretti in terms of how much the option is to buy and how much of the wages Barcelona are actually paying. I'll go into that in a minute, but Marcus Rashford leaving and definitely leaving has given United the opportunity, but it's not just Benjamin Sesko. We're talking here as well. Kolo Muani has come back on the scene, and this has come out from Santi On, and it was in and amongst the news yesterday, and nobody's talked about this, but there is significant talks already held for Muani. Now, Manchester United already know the basis of this deal after touching base in January. Remember, Manchester United were looking for a striker in January. He was there. Spurs were looking at him. United, he ended up going to Juventus on loan and doing quite well, scoring 12 goals for Juventus in the second half of the season. Wasn't that bad. Actually scored a couple of goals in the Club World Cup as well for Juventus throughout the tournaments in the summer. So again, this, I think, and I'm going to be talking about the Ekitike deal and Liverpool after this show when we go right across to Football Talks. Yes, Football Talks paper round is right back after this show, everybody. So make sure that you stay online for that show, which is coming up right after this. You'll be redirected across anyway. But yeah, could we be about to see another Kolo Muani in Ekitike coming through? And by that I mean 80 million euros PSG spent on Kolo Muani from Frankfurt, again, same club where Ekitike is being sold to Liverpool from. And then he flopped at PSG, ended up having a horrible first season. And obviously, well, not horrible, still did his bits, but not as good as what people thought he would. Then obviously loaned out. And this is where we're at with him now, not wanted by PSG. What PSG will want for him, they're going to be substantial money. And to be honest, again, these are the stories that you're probably going to get now. This is, I think, when it comes to Benjamin Sesko and Kolo Muani, I would probably still go Benjamin Sesko all day long rather than Kolo Muani. Look, he had a great season in Germany, just like Ekitike did. And this actually, when you think about it, could be proof that Ekitike isn't all of that yet. Now, he could be a different player completely. And not every player is the same, I get that. But again, this is why I don't think Manchester United, even though we're talking to him and he could be an option, Manchester United would obviously want to find out exactly what the details and conditions of this possible deal could be from PSG. But we know from last summer when dealing with Manuel Ugarte that PSG are going to play hardball. Again, like, can United get a loan striker? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if Kolo Muani has gone on loan once, could he go on loan again? And I'm only talking about this as another option. And again, do you know when I say United have to be clever and we get to the back end of the window, maybe perhaps Sesko's price hasn't come down. United don't want to go for Ollie Watkins, but we need another striker in. Maybe United could loan a striker. Now, obviously, you've got Gonzalo Ramos at PSG as well, and Kolo Muani. I think PSG would probably rather keep Ramos there and loan Muani. Would it be bad keeping Muani or taking Muani for a season-long loan? That's how I look at it. And I think United will be looking into that. And I think no commitment is probably the best way forward if you are going to go near Kolo Muani at all, to be honest. Because I don't rate him as a top striker. I think he's okay. I think he's decent. He could thrive in the Premier League. He could find his feet again. He's still young, mid-20s. So what you've got to look at here is, I think, Kolo Muani being a Manchester United player for a season might be something that the club are actually thinking. And the club are actually thinking, you know what? If we don't get our options, we need a plan B and C towards the back end of this window. And we're ready to go. I think that's probably where United are at with Muani. And I get why we might be looking at him. I get him as an option. I get why United feel like they could possibly get him on loan because Juve have already done it. And it worked for Juve. He helped Juve get Champions League football. And again, Manchester United with an active, decent striker in there and another option for United this season at low cost to get up into Europe next season could pave the way for a massive summer next season. So, no, I don't want Kolo Muani as my top option. No, I don't want him as a Manchester United playoff ahead of everybody else going forward. I don't want to commit too much money to him. But as an option at the end of this window, could he be something that Manchester United go for? 100%, he has to be. Because United have to have everything open and we have to be looking at every possibility going into the back end of this transfer window. So I get why the talks are there. I get why United would touch base. And like I said, Santi Arna has actually come out and said that Manchester United have already opened talks with Kolo Muani. So let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens from here because, again, like everything after what's happened this weekend looks like it's completely open now. It's like United have just decided to start going in and getting decisions done. It's like someone's just gone bang. Like we said, the meeting in Iceland with Sir Jim Radcliffe. It's time to just get moving with these deals. So anything I think is possible now with this. And I do think that Manchester United are looking at potentially everything. Quickly, just on news that is coming in. I need to check who this actual source is actually. But it's on Bryan Mbeumo and what's actually happening. All right, Fabrizio Romano has just... I'm checking who the source is. Oh, it's just Romano. It's just Romano. Bryan Mbeumo has completed the second phase of his medical at Manchester United today. That was quick. Leading hell. Today. Or was that yesterday that Romano tweeted this out? No, this has gone out early doors. Oh, well, I did. Either way, apparently his medical is done. He is now set to arrive at Carrington for media duties and to officially sign a contract running until June 2030 with an option to extend until 31. I kind of get this. United are not doing medicals at Carrington because of the refurbishment. That kind of makes sense. But Romano here is saying, obviously he's been and visited. He's visited Old Trafford. He's gone to the stadium. That was done. But apparently he has done his medical elsewhere. In Manchester, and he is finished. He's done, and we are going to get the signing of the contracts today. So it is Bryan Mbeumo day today, everybody. Romano has just broke that news. It is good news, and this is now finalised. In that, they were also going to sort his visa out, which would be the one that obviously sends him to the States along with the rest of the squad. So when Manchester United arrive back at training tomorrow, Manchester United are going to be welcoming back Bryan Mbeumo, and we are going to see videos of Mbeumo running the gauntlets, getting the slaps and the kicks off the rest of the squad. I am going to love seeing that. I am indeed. That has been a long time coming, hasn't it? But that's the latest on Bryan Mbeumo and where we're at. So we did say that there was something that was going to get an update today at least, but it looks like medical is done. and obviously contracts are now going to be signed at Carrington. Media duties will therefore take place, pictures. I don't think Manchester United wanted to open up part of Carrington just to do this. Apparently it's pretty much done at Carrington, but they're saving it for everyone to come back from the tour and have the big unveiling of the new training facilities at Carrington. Apparently all state of the art. Looking forward to seeing them pictures as well, to see what it's actually like, because I have been in and around Carrington, as you all know, before, and it is looking a little bit old and run down. But there we go. Basically, with that now, medical done, he is now going to be in at Manchester United. So, let's just see what else we've got here quickly while I'm looking through this. Actually, on this now, I'm going to get into your comments. I'm going to move on to Marcus Rashford next, actually, but let's open up the comments section now. God, you can tell, like, there's so much going on. We're literally 10 minutes into the video, and there's already news dropping this early on a Sunday morning. It's absolutely crazy. But again, we'll keep you up to date with everything. I'm just checking on where where everything is now. Yeah, right, okay. Fully up to date. Let's go. Get into the comments section. Let's talk about these strikers then, everyone. Let's talk about how Manchester United move forward with this. Again, like when I brought up the Kolo Muani story this morning, it's like, I don't expect people to be blown away. I don't expect people to actually think that this is going to be a given. Like United are going to go in for him. People are going to get excited by Kolo Muani signing for Manchester United. It's not. It's not one of them signings, really, is it? It's just one of them that, you know, is in place potentially if Manchester United don't end up getting their top targets. The Sesko situation is probably the best one. The Watkins one could come in like what Romano said, with a potential swap. Obviously, United are looking at Martinez as well. We'll get into the goalkeeping situation later in this video, but I'm intrigued now more out to see which way United go with the striker, the experienced Premier League or the up-and-coming player. Because I said this before, if we sign Benjamin Sesko, this is a striker for the next 5 or 6 years for Manchester United. I know we said this about Rasmus, and look where we are 2 years down the line. Obviously, it didn't work out. But I think Benjamin Sesko being a signing under Ineos and under this new management team, I think this is significant for Manchester United now, because obviously if they're going to spend big money, and obviously they've managed to get Rashford out of the door, it's looking very close to getting Sancho gone too as well. I think now we're in a stage where it's like, if we go all in for Benjamin Sesko, he is the type of signing that you would say Manchester United could plan for next summer when we've got real money. So, for instance, we have got the 2 top targets this summer and we can't afford another one. Sesko would be another player alongside the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo. Yeah, no Premier League experience, and you can say they're different in that way. But obviously, in terms of money and finance, Manchester United are going to be spending 60 million upwards to get Benjamin Sesko over the line. So again, it's another significant signing for Manchester United to make. And this is where I think it's decision time. Do you spend that much money on a player that is going to probably play for you for the next 7-8 years, you would hope, in Benjamin Sesko? Or do you do a player that's probably going to be here for 3 years maximum at the same money for Ollie Watkins? But maybe Ollie Watkins hits the ground running next season and actually does help Manchester United get right back up there. It's a tough decision. And if they can't decide between them two and think that they need to give themselves a bit more time and then go forward and make a big signing next summer, then maybe it's a Kolo Muani. That probably is where the decision making is at for Manchester United right now. And I'm actually glad that we're looking at Muani, not for signing him, but just like I said before, for the fact that we've got a plan B and C in place now. And this is where United need to be really covering themselves, I think, going into the back end of this window. And we can move and pivot quickly. Because I think the amount of time it's taken to getting Bryan Mbeumo done, I think you're probably looking at this now, and United are saying we can't afford this now. We haven't got as much time. We've got about 6 weeks left before the window opens. Look, we're less than 4 weeks away from the start of the Premier League season, for God's sake. So this, I think, now is crunch time for United, and we need to be moving. And if it doesn't happen, we can move across to a different target. So happy with that. Let's get some more comments in on this. Andrew says, I agree, Adam. We have to explore all options, but please let us not scrape the barrel. Is Kolo Muani scraping the barrel? Just an opinion. I'm not saying Andrew's saying that. Is he scraping the barrel? Out of the three strikers, let's just say Kolo Muani, Sesko, and Ollie Watkins, who is the it's Moani, isn't it? Even though that he is younger than Ollie Watkins, had an all right end to last season, did well in the Club World Cup as well. It's still Moani, isn't it? Because Watkins carries your Premier League experience, Benjamin Sesko's longevity, and obviously is scoring more goals and is known for scoring more goals than Moani at this present time. Although Moani did do well in Germany before he made that move, and that could be just another Benjamin Sesko scenario there where he doesn't do well moving on either, but no guarantees. I think a lot of this conversation, you know, pushes United towards Ollie Watkins in a way, because you need the guarantee. And still, like, this is where it goes back, and I've said this yesterday, this is where it goes back to what Romano said, United waiting for the opportunity. Benjamin Sesko at a certain price, United will go for. Benjamin Sesko still at the price that RB Leipzig we're looking at from Arsenal. It's just not going to happen. It's not in a million years going to happen, I don't think. I don't think United are going to spend 70 million on Sesko. All that's going to happen here now is, and the problem we've got, is Frankfurt are about to sell Hugo Ekitike for 82 million quid to Liverpool. And that's just going to stop Manchester United getting Benjamin Sesko, because Leipzig are going to go, hang on a minute. Like, Sesko was having an all right season, pretty similar to Ekitike in the Bundesliga, and he's gone for 82 million. We want similar, and we're going to hold our ground with Benjamin Sesko because of that price. In a way, you could say Liverpool are actually doing this on purpose, just to take everyone else out of the transfer window and guarantee that they get the players before everybody else. It could be an actual transfer player. Liverpool are overspending to stop other clubs getting the targets. It could actually be a plan, or a transfer plan, this one, because I just don't see the value in Ekitike at 82 million. No, I cannot believe that that is actually happening. Still baffled by it. We'll talk about that on Football Talks next, but is that going to affect the Benjamin Sesko situation with Leipzig thinking, like probably Brentford did, like, well, Madueke's 52 million, Alanga's 55 million, 62.5 million for Matthews Cunha? Yeah, Bryan Mbeumo's definitely worth 65 million. We're sticking to that price. So why should Benjamin Sesko's Leipzig think any difference? It could be the same scenario. That's all I'm saying. And Manchester United may have to think twice. And it's good that we are looking at these other options. I think that is anyway. I think when you listen to what Amorim said yesterday, he knows the midfield is a problem. I think he needs to look at his system too. If he wants to keep his job, moving to a 4-3-2-1 may be the best option. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. He's not going to change his system. That's the thing. He knows what works. He knows what works, and he knows what he's getting out of these players. So, I know, and I think he will probably want players before he changes his system. He'll want better players before he thinks of changing his system, I think, is what we're going to get from moving Amorim. That's what it will be. Personally thinking, personally anyway, that's what I think. Romano has said he's completed his medical, which means it's happening today, not that it has happened yet. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jal. We've talked about Mbeumo before. He will sign his contracts today. Maybe the unveiling will be, an announcement will be on Monday as the players come back to Carrington. Might be perfect timing, to be honest. The midfield is the biggest concern for me. Non-existent, says OGS. Phil says, oh, lost Phil there. Where's he gone? Oh, no, I've lost that one. I'll move on. I'll try and come back to it in a minute. Sorry, mate. Brian says, I think it's a mistake to prioritise a striker over midfielder, as yesterday was another reminder of our glaring weakness in this area. We are burying our head in the sand a lot of this says we can't be paying 70 million for another wrist striker after Rasmus, and that's why I'd go for Watkins, says Cal. I think a lot of people would say that. The thing is, yesterday did show the weakness of the midfield, but it also showed another blank in the fact that Man United did not score again. And we do need a striker. You cannot ignore this. Someone has to put the ball in the back of the net to take the pressure off the team. It's like that little incident with Chido and Cunha. I know Cunha has just arrived. I know Chido obviously is dying out for goals and trying to impress as a young lad. But that just goes to show. And then Rasmus, just the wrong areas. Again, not making the right decisions for me. I know it's only a pre-season friendly and we're not taking loads from it. But again, like, it's just going to keep coming back and back to haunt Manchester United, that striker. And I can see why he wants to do it. I can see why Ruben does want to get that striker in. Will we see Sekou Kone at all on this pre-season tour? Will we see him? I don't know. I don't know. But again, that's thrusting a young teenage lad into the mix. I didn't rate Toby Collier. He struggled for me. And again, like, we need a midfielder and a striker and a goalkeeper. I think that's it. Now, from this point now, there has to be someone coming in all three of them positions. Otherwise, United are just going to struggle and struggle forever and a day. And it's going to be the same as it was last season. Now, when it comes to Marcus Rashford, that's what we'll move on to next. Let's just talk about that before we get to the midfield and the goalkeeper, because there is news on that as well, everybody. Keep your comments coming in, please, everyone. But on Marcus Rashford, there is a potential, and Romano was coming out last night talking about Marcus Rashford, a potential penalty fee with an obligation. It could be an obligation option for Marcus Rashford. There is more details to come on this. Medicals are expected this week, as we know from yesterday, for Marcus Rashford. Everything that's happened so far, I think, is obviously a bit of a surprise to everyone, how quickly it went and how everything has actually gone with this move. Happy that it did. But the news yesterday from Matteo Moretti, talking about the 30 million buyout. It isn't 30 million apparently now. So Chris Wheeler, sorry, I was trying to think of the journalist then for a minute. Chris Wheeler came out yesterday and said that the option is 40 million still, so it's the same. So when I was talking yesterday after what was said, it now has changed. And again, this shows you that even when the news comes out initially and it's a potential buy at the end of this loan deal, it could actually be more. It could actually be that Manchester United have got an obligation in there similar to Chelsea, and United have put another penalty in to that as well. That's what Romano has said. There could potentially be another penalty clause in there if Barcelona do not buy Marcus Rashford next summer. How much that is, I don't know. We will see in time. But also on this, the wage side of things, we were hearing that Marcus Rashford is taking a big pay cut. He's sacrificing wages to move to Barcelona. Apparently now, again, and this is where things change very quickly. So off the back of another day of news and reports on Marcus Rashford, he's not taking a sacrifice. And Barcelona are going to pay his full £315,000 a week wage. That is ridiculous if that is the case. I find that absolutely staggering that has actually worked out. But that shows you that obviously Manchester United have held the cards here with this loan. If it's going to be a loan, then there has to be that option that you have to take. Otherwise, you pay a penalty at the end of it and you're paying all of his wages. That's it. United have stood firm with this. So it makes me think there is no fee, and I don't think we're going to find... I think we'll find out that there is no fee, like a loan fee for Manchester United to send Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. It looks like it is going to be a straightforward pay all of his wages and then you'll pay a fee if you don't take him next season. So we will see on that one. Again, going back to what I said yesterday, we're now all banking as Manchester United fans on Marcus Rashford having a decent season for Barcelona, because he needs to, just to actually make it look like he's worth that much money. So if it is his dream move, then he's going to do everything in his power to play well for Barcelona and make them sign him permanently next summer. That's on you now, Marcus. So let's see. But like I said, if he does actually do really well there and gives it everything, which you would hope and think he would do now, then he's going to be attractive to anybody else come the end of the season. United can still sell him on. This all, of course, off the back of thinking that Ruben Amorim actually has still got a job by the end of the season as well. And then Marcus Rashford, without that in place, with no coaching of Ruben Amorim in place, does he automatically then come back to Manchester United next summer? I hope not, is what I would say to that. But you just don't know, do you? Like, with no Ruben there, if he has a bad season, touch wood he doesn't, and everything goes well, will he actually still be in a job? These are the things that we need to think about as well. He could end up coming back to United. Heaven forbid. I don't think it will happen, but still, like, when you're thinking about everything that's happened so far this window and what's happened before with transfers for Manchester United, you would not put it past them, would you? Taking him back after next season. But look, one thing we do need to look at right now is that Manchester United, I've got him gone, it is a loan. We're going to find out more details. There are different stories going around at the moment. Obligation, option, penalties if they don't sign him, how much Manchester United are going to get if they don't sign him next summer. Is it 40 million? Is it 30 million? There are varying different stories at the moment. But the most recent one that came out last night from Wheeler was that it's 40 million as a buy option or buy obligation. We will see a few different, like I said, stories saying it's one or the other. And then obviously if they don't, then you're going to be looking at Barcelona having to pay a penalty like Chelsea did and Manchester United take even more money off it. But 315 grand's worth of wages to be paid by Barcelona. Marcus Rashford, from what Romano said, has given Barcelona the green light. He waited so they could definitely confirm that they could register him as a player, because registering players has been the issue for Barcelona all along, which is why they didn't get Nico Williams, and that deal collapsed, opening up the way for Marcus Rashford to move. Luis Diaz was a no-go. Bayern Munich are still bidding against Liverpool to take him away. So obviously now we're looking at just waiting to see when this is finalised. I'm sure an Ornstein or a Romano will come out and give us every little bit of news that we need. Excuse me. Manny with the super chat in the house. Get your comments in, everybody, please. Let's get some on this Marcus Rashford scenario. How do you think it's actually gone down? What do you think Manchester United need to do? Do we need to be asking Barcelona for that payment? Do we need to be putting the obligation in? Do you think the Manchester United have actually managed to get an obligation in? And what does that actually mean anymore? Because, let's be honest, we thought we had it with Jadon Sancho and Chelsea last season. Manny says, this system needs a ball-playing centre-back. The only one good enough who was a standout yesterday was Yoro. So central midfield and centre-back are key transfers for us. On a striker, I'm hearing a Sporting... No. No, it's not happening, Manny. Gyökeres is not coming. But Ahmad could easily develop to that position. Clean Lewis Potter was a midfielder. People talking about people moving positions now. I would rather just keep players in their preferred positions. It's going to be interesting to see how much game time Ahmad makes in a 10 and in a wing back going through the season as well. That was brought up yesterday. OGS says, go buy Baliba, a cheap goalkeeper, and Watkins. Andrew says, yes, our lack of patience when... our lack of pace, I think that's supposed to say, when we attack is a massive problem. I can't understand why we can't play that way. It is weird, like, when United get the ball, like, how slow we move it into. It's scary. It really is. And, again, I just don't know why. I don't know why Manchester United cannot play. Like, Leeds played better than us yesterday. I think they did. They moved the ball 20 times better than Manchester United. I think we had good spells in the game and we were looking all right in little parts, but not convinced at all. But again, I do go back to what I said after the game, which was that it is a pre-season friendly and it's really difficult to judge performances. You're just looking to get people playing football again. So, yeah. One game out of the way. Let's move on to the next one next week, and hopefully it's a bit of a better game. Let's just see what else we've got in here. I'm just checking through some more comments. Maguire was clearly on the ball, along with his many interceptions to speed up the tempo from De Ligt. Again, like... Varying different opinions on Manchester United at the moment in terms of the players and who's best. I do believe the best backline at the moment, when everyone is fit, I would say is definitely Yoro, Martinez and De Ligt for me at the moment. But then again, I don't mind Mazraoui playing there. I think his aggression, I think, is perfect for United. And we could talk about this forever and a day, and this is good that we have got this to talk about. And through the pre-season games, we'll have a lot to discuss on this, and I'm sure it's going to be a hot topic. But just to continue the theme this morning on the transfer front, because it is a big day. If you are just joining us, Romano has told us that the medical for Bryan Mbeumo has been done, finalised. Today he's going to sign his contracts at Carrington, and whether or not it's an unveiling today or tomorrow, we will see. I think it might be tomorrow, but tomorrow at pre-season training, when the players all come back, Bryan Mbeumo will be with the squad. That's all you need to know. Fantastic news on that. Marcus Rashford could have an obligation in his loan to Barcelona where they have to buy him next season. Otherwise, it's another penalty. That's come from Fabrizio Romano as well. United are opening up their options for the striker. Benjamin Sesko talks continue. Kolo Muani, obviously, as well, like we've spoken about him before last January, is another option for Manchester United again. Us and Newcastle, desperate Newcastle at the moment, looking into that one, and we'll see how that develops also. Into the midfield, lots of people talking about the midfield, and the only real news we've got for midfield today is Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester. And again, Ben Jacobs going back in again and just saying what he did before, in that Manchester United are talking of a potential deal with Leicester for Wilfred Ndidi. They need another midfielder in. We know this. Richard Rios, but Romano has updated us again from yesterday. Benfica edging closer now to bringing Richard Rios in. Roma are struggling and can't make it happen. United are just not there. We're not hearing enough. United have obviously scouted them and talked, but United are going to have to make a move very quickly, and we are just not hearing enough on this one. Rios definitely is someone that United are interested in, and it's been pushed probably more by Wilcox and Vivel. Maybe Ruben Amorim is just not there with it. He's not thinking the same. And if he doesn't want him, then unfortunately, Manchester United fans who do like Richard Rios and think he would be a good signing, United are not going to sign him. We're not going to sign him. So again, it's up to Ruben and the talks of, obviously, Wilfred Ndidi, a cheap midfielder. He will be cheap in the region of 5 to 8 million quid. Could end up being a Manchester United signing again before this window closes. I'm not convinced by that one at all. He's not a starter for Manchester United, but he's a player that's had over 200 games in the Premier League and has featured and won domestic trophies in England. So, okay, there is something there in the playoff. I mean, but he has fallen off, and no one has taken him. Why has nobody bought Wilfred Ndidi before? What's happened? He has fallen off a little bit, but that's the midfield news at the moment. Sadly, it's not anything significant. But again, like the news on the Juventus side of things yesterday, and we'll talk about Sancho in a minute, but there was another story about Rasmus Højlund potentially in a swap for Douglas Luiz. And there's that name again. I know. Keeps on coming back. Douglas Luiz for Rasmus Højlund. We didn't talk about that too much because of everything else that was going on, but that was another story that was going around yesterday. Potential swap, Juventus looking at Rasmus Højlund as well as a backup to Jonathan David next season for them in their Champions League campaign, and obviously trying to make a challenge for winning the winning the title again over there in Italy. So it could be. I don't see it personally. But then again, I am open to anything happening now after what Romano said regarding the potential swap that United were discussing for Emi Martinez. I've never seen Manchester United do anything like this in terms of swap deals and players going. Like, you could talk about Alexis Sanchez and Mkhitaryan one time, but that was just an absolute disaster for United. It was never the right thing to do. It was just wrong from the get-go. The money and everything involved just didn't seem to work at all for United. So, yeah, when you look at that, yeah, potentially we could get something out of Juventus on that. I just don't see it at the moment. I think United have got their targets. I think they know who they want. I just don't think they can get them, and they may look towards the back end of this window at potential loans or free agents or cheap buys like Wilfred Ndidi. We'll get into the comments on Wilfred Ndidi, please, as well, everybody. The striker from Sporting I was referring to was Conrad Harder. Right, okay. Watch this space, says Manny. I like it. Thinking outside the box, mate. I don't mind them comments at all, mate. Thank you for the super chat as well. I would love to get Pablo Gary from Barcelona. He can play as the 8 and 6. Looks great the last season, but I can't see United getting him. And Barcelona are probably not going to do United any favours at this point either. So, yeah. I don't see any movement in that one. I don't think United, if they can, I don't think United can actually get any players from these top clubs. And I mean any of the big clubs around, unless they don't want them. But that always puts the fear of death in me, because I'm thinking, why are we buying players that the other big clubs don't want? That's always been a big thing, and we haven't done that so far. We've taken the best player from Brentford, we've taken the best player from Wolves. That's two signings that United always used to do. We always went out and got the best of the smaller clubs and the potential players, the ones that are really standing out. We did it always. We then drifted into an era where we were taking the best, used to be the best, and the declining players from all of the better clubs. And we turned into like a feeder club for all of the top European teams to take their former players. It was sad times. This summer, and the importance of Cunha and Mbeumo, I think, is the change. Like United going for players in their prime who are actually at the top of their game at other competition club, our competitors in the Premier League. That's what we always used to do. And them two signings so far, that is a definite step in the right direction for United. Going in for others, I'm just never convinced by it. I'm never convinced by buying the players that the big clubs want rid of. It always concerns me. It always concerns, which is why I've never really had a problem with United spending a lot of money on players, because obviously if you're spending a lot of money, it means that you're getting someone that club don't want to let go. And that's what we've done with Cunha and Mbeumo. Now, Sesko would probably be the same, again, but then you're talking Wilfred and Ndidi. It just seems to be, for me, a bit of a cop-out. And I don't want to disrespect Ndidi, because he was a really good player at one point in the Premier League. Very consistent performer. Just quickly, that news on the situation with Richard Rios. Richard Rios is a new player for Benfica. Total agreement with Palmeiras for the transfer of the rights for around 28 million euros. Again, if these are one of the, I'm just checking through news here at the moment. If these are the actual numbers that Richard Rios is going for, then I don't think Manchester United were ever realistically in. I really don't. Just to go back on that there, a quick one there, interesting look on things. When you look at what Manchester United is saving, 17 million for Marcus Rashford pretty much covers the first payment for Bryan Mbeumo. That's an interesting take on it, and you could look at it that way. I always look at things like that. It's like, right, okay, Bryan Mbeumo, 16.25 million. That's United's first instalment transfer fee. Manchester United just paid that by loaning Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. There's the difference. That's the level and stupidity of Manchester United before to where we're at now. Sensible football transfers. So a mistake from the past gone, covering the finances for the first year for a player that's really going to have an impact on Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? That there is like a prime example of everything that's happening at Manchester United now compared to what it was before. And it's great to see. It is. I think that's the best way of looking at it. And that shows you exactly how much has changed at this football club. Thank you, everybody, already for all of the likes. We're almost over the 500 mark. Again, absolutely brilliant. It's Sunday morning. We're getting ready for the Bryan Mbeumo announcements and everything that's happening. We've talked on the strikers, the midfielders. Get your comments in on them, please, everybody. Let me know what you think. We are going to be running across 2 football talks straight after this video here. The link is in the description and also in the live chat, but you will be redirected across. We're going to be talking the madness and everything that's going on in the Premier League right now, particularly with Liverpool and Newcastle and Arsenal on their striker side of things. It does involve Manchester United as well, so come across and get involved in that chat as well, everybody, as after this one has finished. Jadon Sancho, where are we at with this one? Yesterday was Marcus Rashford. Could today be the news and the day, could today be the day when we get the news on Jadon Sancho leaving Manchester United? God, this would be such an epic week. Imagine the whole weekend. I said it yesterday. I said, imagine signing Bryan Mbeumo and moving Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho on in the same weekend. Wow. That's getting things moving finally for Manchester United. It was a bit of a delay in terms of things actually happening, but going into the pre-season tour, if we could get some noise that Sancho is done just before we leave, that's 2 in and 2 out, 2 massive significant signings in and out. I think that's massive, and that definitely calms the mood down in the fan base. I said it on Friday. As soon as Bryan Mbeumo signed for United, you would now see a bit of a calming of the waters around the Manchester United fan base, because it's a deal done. It's a quality signing in and United can move forward. And literally straight after that, Marcus Rashford's out the door. And now we can just get Jadon Sancho done. This would be great. But again, it is the same reports coming out again on Jadon Sancho. I'm like, okay, everyone is saying that this deal is so close to being done. And I'm wondering, like, why is it not done? Why is Jadon Sancho not in a Juventus shirt then? If the personal terms are agreed, he has made a preference. He wants to go to Juventus. Apparently, Manchester United are in agreement with Juve over the fee as well. But it's still not happened. So, come on, what's happening here? Is there something going on behind the scenes? Is there something going on where another club could be coming in? Because we heard about Inter Milan's interest in Jadon Sancho as well, and they could possibly look at him. Obviously, Ademola Lookman is their top target, but that's not happened yet. So what we're looking at here is, I think United now, do we just hang on? We're stuck in between hanging on to maybe get a better deal for Jadon Sancho, or do we just want him out the door? Get it done, get him gone to Juve, let's move forward. I think United are in a position where now, I think we are talking to strikers knowing, and I'm just guessing at this here, I think we're talking to other strikers and looking, like Romano said, at potential deals because we know that Rashford is gone. We know that Jadon Sancho is very close to leaving as well. This, I think, is going to be, I think now, Manchester United moving forward, and I think we're going to get some news this week on Jadon Sancho because we need to start getting the other players in. And let's not forget, Manchester United's tour isn't even 2 weeks. So we're thinking that everything's going to slow down while United are on the tour with the transfer news and everything. I don't think it is. I think the talks are going to continue and everything is going to be in place. But Manchester United's big knobs don't have to actually be in situ for these deals to actually go down. So I think it is going to be mainly outgoings. I think it's going to be the likes of possibly Sancho, Antony, maybe we'll get some Garnacho news as well. But again, I think with it only being a 12-day tour for Manchester United and us being back pretty much the first week of August, I don't see this slowing down at all. I think Manchester United now are in a very strong position, they feel, where they've got actual deals moving along in place, but gives them the freedom to go out and negotiate other possible deals with strikers. Right, let's get into the chats. I've got a few super chats to get through, so let's get into that. Right, first of all, there was a few at the top of the show that I missed out on. Sorry, everybody. This didn't pop up on my screen. I'll blame the connection and the Wi-Fi again. Oh, sorry, it's probably just me. Ants, longevity is great, but experience is key when talking about the striker situation between Watkins and Sesko. Tom, legend, thank you for another super chat from you, mate. Adam, are you going to the Fenerbahce game? Which is the Fenerbahce game? Has that been announced? Is there another one? I've not even seen that one, Tom, actually. I'll have to look that up, mate, actually, just to see. I know we've got, you mean Fenerbahce or Fiorentina? Is it the Fiorentina game you're talking about? We'll see, mate, on that one. Annoyingly, Newcastle have the two midfielders perfect for us. Yes, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali. They are the midfielders that would transform Manchester United's midfield. You're right about that. And I'm guessing they're the ones you're on about, Ant, as well. Thanks for the super chats there, guys, as well. But I think, Tom, you meant the Fiorentina game. I'm sure it is that one that you're talking about. Anthony and Garnacho will buy us Sesko. Sancho and Rashford will buy us Sesko, leaving. And that's how important their wages are. Garnacho, I think, you know what, there's something in the Garnacho one for me. I don't know if it'll be Emi Martinez or if it'll be Ollie Watkins. But I think Garnacho will end up at Villa. I don't think there's any other Premier League club that's going to take him. I think his hand is being forced, and I think he will end up going to Aston Villa. And by that, I don't mean that United are making him go there. I just don't think he's got the option. I really don't. And by the way, on Garnacho, I do see the intermediaries having to step in on this one as well. I just don't see how he can get a deal done or get anywhere where he wants to go without somebody else coming in, because the options are dwindling down for him right now. So yes, it's for us. I think right now, I think it's important to. I think United's stance when the players came back to training is probably the biggest part of this. But I think Garnacho is going to play a part in possibly Watkins or Emi Martinez coming to Manchester United. Either of them. I think that's where we're at. I do think he's going to play a big part in this transfer window for Manchester United. I really do. Tom with another one. He says, yes, Adam, the Fiorentina game, De Gea's send-off. I've not actually decided on that one yet. When I get back home later on today, I will be looking into all of the games and everything like that, mate, just to make sure. And obviously, we might be there. We might be at that game. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, it's all the excitement of football being back at Old Trafford, because when the Old Trafford friendly comes around, you know that it's nearly time for kickoff. So yeah, that's what I think is the important one. That's when I know everything's going to have fallen into place, hopefully. I remember it last time. I remember it 2 seasons ago when Onana got lobbed from the halfway line near enough. That was the game we was thinking that everything was going to be coming together and we were going to be a proper team, and then no, it didn't work out that way, did it? It completely went the opposite. But yeah, let's get some more comments in on this. Entender, I think that's how you say that. Entender. Getting Rashford's wages off for this period is good business. Allows us some money in wages to spend on another striker. Not great, but fairly good business. Yeah, I agree with that one, actually. Steve says, oh, wow, Dom, must have been incredible watching him in action. Sorry, that's someone else's private comment there. We need Vitek back, John Victor, Hackney and Douglas Luiz if we can. On John Victor, the Brazilian reports are still pushing this as Manchester United's top target. So Brazilian media are saying that United are preparing a bid. We're hearing that Manchester United are in for Senit Lamens. Then Romano is saying that there could still be a potential swap for Emi Martinez. I don't know which report to believe at the moment. The Romano you would normally trust, but then you tend to think Emi Martinez seems a long way off compared to the other goalkeepers for the financial implication of it. John Victor will be a number 2. Senny Lamens will be a number 2 behind Andre Onana. Honestly, Tom Eaton is better than Andre Onana, and we've seen that yesterday. I'm not kidding when I say that. He is better than Andre Onana in goal. Yes, he's older and we can't rely on him, but I'm just making that point as to say that's United's so-called number 1 right now. So yeah, the Brazilian sources are saying that John Victor is a top target for Manchester United. They're number 1, but that's Brazilian. Then obviously you've got Lamens and obviously Martinez. That's all in one weekend of news for Manchester United. We will be buying a goalkeeper. There is definitely a new man in between the sticks. Bayendale looks shaky again. Yes, he just looks nervous. He just looks really nervous. I don't know if he's been scarred from that first couple of seasons where he's just not looked too good. One game against Arsenal probably held him up. I wanted to see more of him. I wanted to back him. I was giving him props and praise. I thought he should have come in, but didn't. And in the end, we are where we are now. We definitely need another goalkeeper in. And we will buy another keeper, I think, this summer, definitely. There's too many noises right now, so that's it, really. And that is our show as well, everybody, this morning. We are going to be jumping across to football talks now, but before we go, can we please just give the video a like, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. This is my last stream here in the New Pines, the holiday resort that I've been staying at, courtesy of Sean from the New Pines. Fantastic location. Get here, link in the description, everybody, right at the top. The New Pines Holiday Home. Get down to their open weekend and open experience. So you can come down here. If you want to have that getaway, get away from it. It's absolutely quiet as anything. And it's so peaceful around here. You can properly relax. Not too far away. Easy to get to. North Wales. Great location. Loads to do as well if you want to get off the complex. But here, it is gated off. It's a fantastic community. Entertainment. 5-star park. Swimming pools. Bars. Snooker rooms. Honestly, it's brilliant. Get down and check the link in the description, everybody. And come down for free. You just check it out. Check it out. Get away for the weekend. That's what I love doing. Clear the head, especially when watching United anyway. I think it's needed. Yeah, but thanks again to them. That was our last stream on FUTV here at the New Pines. So thank you to them again. Cheers, everybody in the chat. Thanks for the super chats. I'll see you over on Football Talks in just a minute's time, everybody. Get over there now. We're talking big things happening in the Premier League. My God, what a Liverpool